Hey everyone, this is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. Well, I continue to get lots of requests for more guitar lessons that have no accompaniment. So no jam track, no band. All you need is to grab a guitar and play. And so that's what we're going to learn in this lesson. I'm going to show you how to play everything that I played in the intro. It's a really nice slow blues played in the key of B. I'll also show you how you can transpose that if you want to play it in a different key. But anyway, we're going to learn this whole lesson with a pick. So for you fingerstyle players, you can follow along with this as well. Obviously, you could do this very easily, fingerstyle. But I know that a lot of you are not comfortable yet with fingerstyle, and so you're more comfortable playing with a pick. So anyway, we're going to break that down. We're going to split this lesson into two parts. So in this first video, we're going to look at the first half. If you want to watch the second half, as well as download the tablature and the on-screen tab viewer, which is a new feature that I have now at ActiveMelody. So you can now play the video and see the tab on the screen in real time, and you can follow along. It makes it a lot easier to learn. The real advantage is you can slow it down, so if it's going too fast, you can put it at a tempo that's more comfortable for you, or you can highlight a section and loop it. There's a lot of new features with that. So check out that on-screen tab viewer if you haven't. So if you want to download all the assets for this lesson as well as the part 2, make sure you go to ActiveMelody.com and look for EP094. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first half. Alright, so as I mentioned in the intro, this is in the key of B. And B is a somewhat unusual key for blues. You know, typically you'll hear something in E or A, but B is out of the norm, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to put you out of your comfort zone. So there are no open strings in this, so if you can play this in the key of B, you can transpose it to any key. And so when we're playing, the chords in this would be a B, there's the E 7th chord, and then you're back to the B, and then the 5 chord in this would be an F sharp 7th, back to the E, and then back to the B. So so those are your 3 chords that we're going to play around. And when we play in the key of B, if you're playing a B major chord, just a B major bar chord, you'd play it just like this, so that your bar is up here on the 7th fret. So that's important because the 7th fret is your root fret. And you hear me talk about the root fret a lot. The root fret is home base. That's how I think of it when I'm playing lead or playing chords or whatever. That's where you want to always remember where your home base is, because you can always branch out and play solo licks and things out of that home base. I cover this all in the blues lead course at ActiveMelody.com, like what the root fret is and what these different patterns are and everything. So check that out if you haven't. But anyway, our 7th fret is the root fret, and when you're playing, if you're playing the key of B, your minor pentatonic scale, and that's what I do in the beginning of this. I just started a little lead part where I was playing it right out of the minor pentatonic scale in the key of B, so the B minor pentatonic scale. Now pattern 1 of the minor pentatonic scale for the key of B would look like this. This will be familiar to a lot of you. So you can see most of those notes landed here on the 7th fret, or root fret. So when I played the intro, this is what I did. I went. Now you can see those licks are all right there, going back and forth between the 7th fret and 9th fret, which is part of the minor pentatonic scale. See these licks right here? Or these notes right here, that's where that's coming from. So just wanted to point that out, and I'll continue to point this out as we go through this, that this is home base, and these chords that we're going to learn, some of these chords like this, I want you to know how those relate to home base, so that if you're in a different key, for example, like you're in the key of A, you would know how to go to those chords, and you could use them for slow blues or fast or even jazz. So anyway, back to here. Here's the intro. I started with the 9th fret 3rd string, and I did a full bend, and then I came back and played just the 9th fret 3rd string, then the 7th fret 3rd string, and then, so those are your first 3 notes. Now watch, this is something I got from Eric Clapton. So I come back to the 9th fret, and this time I'm on the 4th string, and I use my ring finger and I bar, because I'm going to play strings 4 and 3 on that same fret. So watch this. So that's why you'd want to bar that. It allows you to play both those notes on that fret and kind of double back. Okay, and now we're back to the the 7th fret 3rd string. Now this time when I play it, I give it a little bit of a push. You can hear this. It just gives it kind of a nice bluesy feel. Now we're back to the 9th fret 4th string. So altogether what we have up to this point is okay, so just practice that. The picking pattern is just alternate picking with the right hand. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, now after this, then you take, while your ring finger is there on the 4th string, 9th fret, your middle finger comes up and plays the 5th string on the 9th fret. Now I remember learning this from Freddie King, watching him do, where you got, you're trying to cram 2 fingers across 2 strings in the same fret. It seems like your fingers won't fit, but trust me, they will. So that's what you're going to want to do, is to come down and grab that note. Then with your pointer finger, you're back to the 7th fret, 4th string. This time you're going to hammer on to the 9th fret. We're back to the 7th fret, 3rd string. So now we have, and then that's the final note there, in that little run anyway, on the 9th fret, 4th string. So we have, let's do it again. Just practice that. This is how I learn these licks, is I just take one little piece, don't be overwhelmed by the whole thing, and just set a metronome or whatever, and you could literally make a song out of that. See, I can already start to feel where that could become its own groove if the bass kicked in. And just have fun with each of these licks, because each of them are a song in and of themselves, if you really think of it that way. So, and even if that's all you got out of the lesson, that's a nice little lick to have, right? Okay, now I go to the 5 chord, which is a turnaround like this. It happens like this. And for that, we're back to the 7th fret 3rd string. Again, pushing it a little bit sharp to get that bluesy tone. Now watch this. Watch with my right hand. I'm only picking it once. So what happens there is my ring finger goes down on the 9th fret, 4th string. My pointer finger is down on the 7th fret behind it, so that I can do a pull off. Watch this. And then I do a hammer on right away with my ring finger onto the 5th string on the 9th fret. So that's what that looks like. Just remember, this stays down while you're doing it. And when you get it up to speed, it's more like that. Now, what's nice about that is your ring finger is down and it's in the perfect place to go ahead and play that 5 chord or the F sharp 7th chord for the turnaround. Now let me show you how you want to think about making this chord. Since your ring finger's already in position, we're going to make this little shape first. And what this shape is, this is the D7th shape. I always think of the D7th shape because you see that shape and then the D shape show up in a lot of chords higher in the neck. But that D7th shape, if you think about it, that's what you're creating here, but you're doing it on a different set of strings. So your ring finger and your pinky are going down on the 9th fret. Your ring finger's on the 5th string, your pinky's on the 3rd string. And then your middle finger goes down on the 8th fret, 4th string. So there's that part of the chord. Now you've got your pointer fingers just sort of hanging out. It naturally fits in right here on the 7th fret, 2nd string to make for that nice 7th chord. And that's a great blues chord that you can use. And now you can slide that too. Check this out. Put it in different positions. So if you're playing it down here, it's a C7th, right? If you're playing it here, it's a D7th. So you have different positions for that. And so anytime you're playing a blues, if you're playing blues in A, and you go to the next chord, you go, so you play your D seventh like that. So just remember that chord, or that chord shape. Okay. I give it a little bit of vibrato there as well. Now we go right in to the one chord like this. And I think of this as the T-Bone Walker chord. It's used in Stormy Monday. It's a great little chord shape, and it'll be something that you can use a lot, especially in slow blues. And here's how you make it, or how you want to think about making the chord. It looks complicated because you have all your fingers kind of crammed in together, but it's actually pretty simple. If you think back to when I showed you, remember the D seventh shape? Well, most of you know the D shape as well, right? It looks kind of like this, like a little triangle if you were to draw it, here. Well, you're making that same shape, but you're making it in a different position, different strings. But you can see the D that I'm making here. So my pointer finger is on the 6th fret, 5th string. My middle finger is on the 6th fret, 4th string. I'm sorry, 6th fret, 3rd string. I can't count today. Or most days for that matter. My ring finger is on the 7th fret, 4th string. So you have those three right there, right? There's your little, and that's almost the entire chord. The only other thing you got to do is your pinky, since it's just sort of free back here, you're going to put it down also on the 7th fret, but it's going to go down on the 2nd string. Look at this. You have this nice little chord there. And what's cool about this chord is you can slide it around. So watch this. So you'll hear a lot of blues songs kind of start with that or end with that. And that's where that chord is coming from. Now, the important thing, this is the bonus tip, I guess, is look where it is in relation to the root fret. So remember we said the root fret was here, right? So if the root fret is here, just notice, so remember, root fret, chord, root fret, chord. You start to see in your mind these two fingers are straddling the root fret. So that means anytime I have a root fret, so no matter what key I'm in, if I'm in the key of G, for example, you would do that same chord, but you do it here. And you have that nice little kind of jazzy sounding version of the one chord in blues. And what's nice about it, as I said, is you can slide into it. It's just great. It gets kind of a lazy feel. Kind of jazzy, kind of bluesy. So, alright, so there's the intro. Now we slide into the chord. Okay, that's where we want to be, but we don't start there. We start up one set of frets. So you're just going to have to, even though you know where you're going to end up, right? You're going to want to start here so you can slide into it like that. It's just an awesome little way to start the chord. So as soon as you play that chord, the one chord, we're going to play this little lick that goes. Great little lick. I'm not sure where I got that one, but it starts here. You can see it's just the minor pentatonic scale. But it starts here on the 10th fret, 2nd string. And I use my ring finger for that. Some of you may want to use your pinky. It's up to you. But we're going to play that note. Then we're going to play the 7th fret, 2nd string. So both of those are on the 2nd string. Now we're going to come down and play the 9th fret, 3rd string. Those are your first three notes. Now watch what happens next. Both of those are played on the 9th fret, 7th fret. Both of those are played on the 7th fret. And I'm just borrowing the first three strings, and I'm playing string 2, string 3, and then the last note is on the 9th fret, 4th string. So there's your lick. And watch the right hand. It's just alternate picking again. Whoops. Notice that little pull there? It gives it a little bit of a bluesy feel if you bend that. Okay. Now we go to the 4 chord. So we have, there's the beginning. Now watch this. Again, sliding into these chords, it's just awesome. It gives a real nice kind of, it works when you're playing real slow blues like this. But now I'm playing the E7th chord, and I'm really just using that D7th shape. D7 here, it's that same shape, same pattern really. Here, so my middle finger and my ring finger are on the 7th fret. My middle finger's on the 5th string, my ring finger's on the 3rd string. Now my pointer finger comes down and plays right here on the 6th string, 4th fret. Now it's just easier. Now remember in the beginning when I showed you that turnaround chord, we did use all 4 strings. This time we're only using 3 of them. But it's that same principle. Like that's just a part of this chord. So that's an E7th chord. But I just thought it works just playing those bottom 3. It gives you kind of like a nice low end. You don't have to play, all of the strings in that chord. So okay, then we have, that's the other thing, is we're sliding into it. So this is where we want to end up, but we want to slide into it, just like that. Again, pay attention to where you are to the root fret. If your root fret is here, now the 4 chord, now anytime you're playing blues, you can go to a nice 4 chord by straddling these 2 fingers on the root fret, see? Root fret, just same as we did with this chord. Just a nice little thing to remember. Remember, you can slide into them. Another thing you can do is to slide. You don't have to slide up to it. You can slide down like that. So you can go either way. Now, after I slid in on the 4 chord, I went. Actually, I went like this. Kind of I didn't bend it. I went. So what I did was I switched down to the major pentatonic scale for this. And you can tell it sounds a little happier. It doesn't sound quite as sad. And so the major pentatonic scale in reference to the minor pentatonic scale is just 3 frets lower from where you are. So let me show you what I mean by that. If the minor pentatonic scale is here, the major pentatonic scale is we go 1, 2, 3. Watch this. So this is the major pentatonic scale. Same shape, same pattern rather. It's just played in a different position. But as long as you're in the same key, which we are, we're still in the key of B, the whole thing is, then we can play it up here. So when I came and went, that's why that works. It's in major pentatonic scale. So here's the notes. So I slid from the 4th fret, 4th string, up to the 6th fret on the 4th string. Then I played the 4th fret 3rd string, 6th fret 3rd string. So we have, now watch this. Watch how I'm picking it. Just watch the right hand. Watch. It doesn't do anything. It just picks one note. So this is all happening with the left hand. And all I'm doing is I'm going from here, I'm sliding up 1, I'm sliding back down 1, doing a pull off so that I'm playing the 4th fret, and doing a hammer on. So it's a slide, pull off, hammer on. I guess that's how you can think of it. That's how you're going to practice it. But when you do it up to tempo. Now another way you could do that if you're struggling with that but you want the same effect is you could just do a bend like this. Sometimes bending might be a little easier, just depends on your comfort, but that's what I did. Oh, so after that I came and played 2 notes there on the 4th fret 3rd string, and then we resolve it there on the 4th fret, the 6th fret 4th string. Okay, so let's back up. Let's cover what we have so far. I'm going to skip the intro. We'll just start from the turnaround chord. So here we go. Alright, so now watch this. Now I got that straight out of the T-Bone Walker playbook. And it's just awesome because you're just playing a chord, but you're picking the notes out of the chord, and it really carries it, even when you're playing just by yourself like that without anybody else. So again, it's back to this chord. We're sliding into it. Now watch this. We're just picking the notes out. 2, 3, and 4. Those are the string numbers. 2, 3, 4. It's like a triplet. Triplet. You slide it up 1, triplet, and then back down. Okay, so we have. And then we do quick burst and stop. And I stop the strings with my right hand here. Now, the other thing, just a little detail, is I'm shaking the strings like this as I play the chord. And that's hard to do. That's something that I actually kind of got that one from Robert Cray. He's just awesome at playing chords and playing vibrato. And some of that depends on your guitar and how it's set up. Another trick that you may want to, not a trick, but another technique, I guess, would be to use a tremolo or a whammy bar. If you've got that, you can get that effect to do it that way. Or you can just play it straight. Either way works. I just like to give it my own like natural vibrato. Okay. So now the next thing that happens after that stop is I went. So again, minor pentatonic scale. We're going to switch between pattern 1 up to pattern 2. But what I did is I bar the first 2 strings on the 7th fret. Play those 2 notes. Freddie King lick. And then we're going to slide right up to the 12th fret 2nd string. Now watch this. We get back down like that. So this note is matching this note. It's the same note. That's a great little blues technique to hit a note and then slide up to match that note, or bend up to match that note. So you hear this a lot. Or together. But that's what I'm doing. Now, after that, I come back to the 10th fret 2nd string. Then I go to the 11th fret 3rd string, and as soon as I play it, I slide immediately down to the 9th fret. Watch this. Then, also on the 3rd string, I'm down to the 7th fret. Then the 9th fret on the 4th string. So, slowly. Now, at the end of that, I went, did a little blues chord thing there. And for that, I'm just barring the first 3 strings on the 7th fret. And I'm going to only play strings 2 and 3. And then I'm going to hammer on to the 8th fret. So 7th fret, barring those 2 strings, I'm going to hammer on to the 8th fret 3rd string. And then I'm going to take my ring finger down and play on the 9th fret 4th string. If you analyze what happened there, I'm just building, it's just the B chord. It's your B bar chord, right? So we're just playing the top part of the chord. But instead of just playing the chord like this, you're building it. And that's a technique that's used a lot. I use it a lot in a lot of lessons, but that's how that's done. Now, we go back to the 4 chord and play that again. So we've already covered that, and that's how we slide into that E7. And then I played this little lick where I went. And don't know where I got this one, but I love it. So it's just another variation of a chord, really, but all I'm doing is I'm starting here on the 9th fret 5th string, sliding up to the 11th fret on the 5th string, and then watch this. We're going to bar the first 4 strings on the 9th fret, and we're going to play strings 4 and 3. 4 and 3 again. 4 and 3 again. But the difference is, so we keep the bar down, but you can see my ring finger comes down on the 11th fret, and plays that note. And then I just slid it up again. You could use your pinky for that, but up to the 12th fret on the 4th string. And you hear how it makes that nice kind of clash. I love that. So then you just walk it back down. So watch this. We repeat it. that time I took it off. I went so that I'm just playing the bar part, or well, those two strings. All right, let me back up and we'll cover everything up to that point. So we have from the turnaround, now watch this. We go back to that chord, slide it up again, which we've already done, and now watch this little lick, which is kind of fun. So that is, again, in the minor pentatonic scale, but I'm doing the bend with my pointer finger, which is kind of unusual. Some of you may want to use a different finger, but I like to keep my fingers exactly where they need to be for that minor pentatonic scale. So that's just a natural, I just naturally keep them here, so that because most of these notes are between these two frets. So anyway, that's why. And my pointer finger does a full bend there on the 7th fret, 3rd string, then a release, and another bend. Let me try that again. Like that. Then we're going to play with our ring finger on the 9th fret, 4th string. Now watch this. Is that cool? And that is a Jimmy Vaughn lick. To get there, we're going to go 7th fret, 3rd string. Now watch this little. We've already done this, by the way, in the intro, but we're just doing it again. So it's just a real quick little pull off. You pick it, pull it off, and do a hammer on. Like that. And you may want to, if you're having a hard time with that, just practice it. It's really not that hard. Now we come back to the 7th fret, 4th string, and then I go right into position to play that 5 chord, or the F sharp 7th. Now the way that I played that, the way that I picked the notes out of that chord was like this. Just kind of cool. It's just that same chord shape. Remember, we just learned it here. So we learned the E7th here. Same chord shape. We just slide it up two frets to play that F sharp 7th. And we're going to play strings 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, 5. So that's how we started. And then I went. This was like a little bit of a pause, and that's like if you're tapping your foot to kind of fill the space. It just sort of naturally happened, I guess. Now watch this. We slide everything up. This is kind of another interesting little blues technique. So we take that same chord shape and we just slide everything up one set of frets, and we pick it out apart like this. 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, and then we're back. Okay, the only reason I wanted to call attention to this is because you can use this when you're playing blues as well. This little slide it up. So if you're ever playing, let's just switch keys so you can see. If you're playing blues in A, and then we get to the turnaround chord. That's what I just did there. So that's in that case, that would be the E7. And so you can always use that, and that's what I did was on the turnaround I just kind of went up one, went back down, and then we're back to that T-bone chord. And then I did this little lick that goes. I love that. I don't know where it comes from, but it just kind of fell out, I guess, from something else I've heard. Anyway, what I'm doing is barring the first 3 strings on the 7th fret, and we're going to play strings 2 and 3 we're going to hammer on this time. Remember before we hammered on like this? This time we're going to hammer on up here on the 7th fret. Sorry, the 9th fret, 3rd string. And again, you can see why those notes work because they're all part of that minor pentatonic scale. Now watch this. Then we take these 2 fingers. I'm going to come up one more, jump up here so that I can bar the first 4 strings, and we're going to play strings 4 and 3. So, now watch this. So, after the bar, I'm going to take my pointer finger, slide it down to the 6th fret, 4th string, and my middle finger goes down on the 7th fret, 3rd string to play that little sound. So we have. And then I went. So for that, again, we're going to start here. This would be considered the blue note and the minor pentatonic scale. If you slide up 1 fret from here, you have this note which is called the blue note. So we're going to start on that blue note. We're going to slide into position onto the 9th fret, 4th string, 9th fret, 3rd string, I'm sorry. 7th fret, 3rd string, 9th fret, 4th string, 7th fret, 4th string. So you can see it's just a little box. Now watch what happens here. We're going to bar again the first 4 strings on the 7th fret so that I can play the string 3 and then come down and play that note, which is the 9th fret, 4th string. So all together that little run goes. That's that Eric Clapton run that I use all the time. Now watch this. It's a nice little turnaround. And so for that, we're going to hammer on, we're going to build that chord like we've done before. Bar the first 3 strings on the 7th fret. You're going to play strings 2 and 3, and we're going to hammer on to the 8th fret, 3rd string. And then watch this. Well, all I did was I came down and played that F sharp 7th chord, which we've already learned. But I started by playing just the 5th string out of the chord. But you can see my fingers were already in position to go ahead and complete the chord. Okay? And that's really all the notes in that first half. Let me go through, I'll back up and I'll play through the entire piece so you have a reference of this. We'll play through it slowly. If you want to watch the second half, which is, it's all available at activemelody.com, and I've also got that on-screen tab viewer, which is really helpful. So you can follow the tab on the screen. You can slow it down. You can loop parts. You can also print off the tablature. So I've got a lot of features for you. But anyway, here we go. We'll play through it. Missed that. There it is. And that's what we have this week. So now we're going to move on to the next part, but you're going to want to go to activemelody.com, look for EP094. We'll see you in that part.